成为一个可以保护其他人的人。
I like this shot. I feel like the art's drawn really well, and they will need more comic artists. I really like these art panels though. They're so pretty. I love this drawing of Julian. Yeah, the 2D arts are really pretty, especially the way it's drawn on some of their frames. I do wonder, it might be a bit expensive to produce, and that's why they only use these for select parts. For those of you who are interested in playing this game, you can download Zenless Zone Zero with the link using my link in the descriptions or in the pinned comments. How's the game so far? Game is fun. I like the combination of everything in this game, like the combat plus the world plus the characters plus the design plus the music plus the aesthetics. It's like a mishmash of... There's a lot of variety. I like variety, despite what it might seem with how much I play one game or two games. But I like the combination of all the different things in this game. It has like a little bit of everything. It's comfy. I like the comfy vibes. You can just like chill and play in the arcade. You can go around and talk to the town people. You can play the combat modes. You are limited on where you can go, and there's not too much to explore, but as a result, it feels like everything is closer to home to you. Like you kind of really get to know every street corner. What's the top most reason people would come to this game? I think everyone probably comes to this game for different reasons. Some people are interested in the combat and seeing what it's like. Other people might be captivated by the music or the vibe or the persona type of feel. You're captivated by Snake. I think that's one fun part about this game. Different parts will captivate you. Whether it's just running around town and talking to all the NPCs and figuring out if there's any hidden quest things, or playing your arcade games. Or once you level up, there's the roguelike mode, which I feel like can be pretty fun. The Hollow Zero part's your simulated universe roguelike part of this, with your complete with your blessings. The puzzles are fun too, despite... Like some people I think will enjoy the TV mode. There's some fun interactions in the TV mode. People said in the live stream, they said they will try to decrease the television missions, the TVs. But currently there are a lot of TVs as you go and level up. Thankfully you can think of them as mostly like a one-time content if you don't like it. I also think if you enjoy the game and you like playing the game, I don't think you need to worry too much about what other people think about the game. This game is mostly a single player game too. I think you can just play and have fun. And don't let other people's perception of the game change your own perception of the game. You can just think of it as games are... Like a game isn't made for everyone. Different people will like different games. And it's completely normal, fine, if people don't like ZZZ. They might just not be the target audience. I don't think a game needs to have the best combat for me to enjoy the game. For me, I kind of take in the game as like, how much fun do I have playing this game? And I don't only gain pleasure or fun from like the combat system. While I enjoy the combat in the games, I feel like I enjoy the overall atmosphere, somewhat of the story, the characters, the design, the art style, the music. There's like a lot more to a game than just the combat. Obviously, some people do play games mostly for the combat, and in the end game, it's like, well, you're mostly like doing you're leveling up your characters, but I think you can enjoy a lot of other things in games. And for me, I feel like this game has a lot of other interesting aspects. In addition to the combat system, which, while I don't think it's like the best combat system, because it does feel like it's, so far, it's like more of like the enemies get tankier, and then you're more optimizing your rotation versus like trying to figure out your individual character mechanics. But I like how this game has a lot of things, and then it kind of combines them together in a more unique way. There's even the arcade where you can spend a lot of time just playing your Snake or the other mode. I haven't touched Snake yet. I am a reformed Snake addict. I got out all my Snake addiction in CBT 2, and I will not be playing Snake until later. Time will tell. This is one of the things I really like in ZZZ. You can randomly find all your characters in the world. Look, Like here we just have Ellen talking with her friends. But we haven't formally met her in the story yet, so I think she's just called Shark-tailed Girl. And then she's hanging out with some of the friends we saw in the trailer. And then you can we... Oh, we can't really talk to them yet. But you can see their little dialogues. Try the new challenge. Ellen says that's it. Of course Ellen would say that's it. Let's hit the tea milk shop instead. They actually exist. They all exist in this world. Curious girl. And they have... All the NPCs have pretty unique... Like, they're very different from each other. Though some of them are recolored. They'll have a slightly different hair color. But they have quite a lot of different models for the NPCs in ZZZ. Like, just running around here, all of them look, I think, different. I like the vibes in ZZZ. And I like the interactions, the slice of life interactions, and how you can find the characters on the streets. And there's random NPCs you can run into and help out. And the story here, it's like a bit closer to home. Like in Genshin, it's like a fantasy setting. Star Rail's like a space setting. Here, it's like a post-apocalyptic human civilization type of thing. So it's a bit more... There's like a bit more relatability for some of the things they're talking about. For me, it feels like a more immersive game. Like you can really sit down, play this game, and then you'll realize, without realizing, like hours will have passed. Because you can spend a lot of time, especially if you're new to the game, just running around, playing Snake, interacting with everyone, checking out your town, your little place. And it's kind of easy to grow attached to like the... It's like a more cozy urban sandbox feel of like you're living in this town with your sibling. And there's this world. It's not too big, so it's not like too overwhelming to learn about. I was listening to the developer talk about what he wanted the combat experience to be like for the new players, for the players. He did want to create a game focused around like more hardcore combat, but he felt like if he immediately dived into that type of combat, it would turn a lot of people off. So he said one of his main goals was to try to introduce and present this game in such a way where the players are able to feel powerful and perform cool combos right away. So they're incentivized to play the game at least. And then as they play the game, they will slowly pick up more of the core systems of the combat. Because he was saying he felt like it was really regretful that a lot of really great fighting games, a lot of players don't ever make it to the fun parts of doing all the cool combos. Because there's usually... You have to play for a while to learn the combos, and then in some games it might be a bit too complicated, so a lot of players quit. So he was saying in ZZZ they're hoping players will maybe be first drawn to the atmosphere of the game or the music or like the vibes, and then as they play through the game they also get to experience the combat, and then they will slowly also be hooked on the core gameplay of this game, which is... He did seem to say because he was saying eventually, like late game, he says they also have some difficult challenges, but he wants to make it so early game. He said they purposely made the early game fairly easy and easy to also learn the mechanics and also trigger cool combos. And then he also said in terms of the design, I thought this was pretty interesting. He said they did try to push the boundaries of being different in terms of character design and the story and everything. He says the team, and that's what he and the team has been working on, trying out things that are very different than what you would normally see in games. But he says he does realize that there is some limits, like players are not ready perhaps to accept some things, but they are trying to experiment a lot, it seems like, with ZZZ. I was surprised when someone said we can't jump, and then I had to think, well, you're right, we can jump in this game. Because it wasn't really an issue for me. You kind of want to jump. This isn't really an open world to jump type of thing though. Or they designed it where I feel like I actually have not lacked jumping. I actually didn't get to a point where I was like, I want to jump. Because the world isn't designed that way. A UI takes some time to get used to. And the terminology and everything, it's a bit of a over... Like, there's a lot of things to get to you'll see on the screen. It definitely takes a while to get used to. I'm just now, I feel like getting used to it. But I played CBT 2 and CBT 3, so I played a lot of this game. I do kind of like how ZZZ is trying a lot of things. Even if it doesn't seem to be working out, or if people aren't really liking some of the things they're trying. I kind of do appreciate, or I respect their drive to try to innovate and try out all of these types of things that are not generally done in like the gacha games. Like my first impression when playing ZZZ back in CBT was I felt like I wasn't sure why it was a gacha game. I felt like it would be a really great Persona type of single player game. But they're trying to combine the gacha with the Persona-esque type of vibe. Cause it is weird when you think about like you pull for the characters, but you don't really spend that much time with their characters. You can't run around with them. You run around with their main character. If you pick the male MC, you hear yourself talk and then you hear your sister talk. But it is a bit more of like a... If you pick the male MC, you get more of like a sister experience. But you end up running around the town as the male MC. But it doesn't matter as much because you don't see yourself that much in the combat modes. Kind of depends on what you want. Like some people did pick a male MC in this game to go for a more sister experience. Your bedroom changes though based on if you pick male MC or female MC. They're decorated differently, which is pretty cool. I feel like the bedroom details are pretty insane. There's so many different things in your bedroom. And in general, there's like a lot of different... Like the attention to detail in this game. And I guess in most of the Hoyoverse games is pretty impressive. You picked male MCs as Jing so you could hear female MC talk more, but then you realize you usually skip story anyway, mistakes were made. I do feel like in a lot of ways this game is more friendlier for people who don't have that much time. Because you're not immediately shown like the big map, it really eases you into like the different systems and the different characters. Here you don't actually know, which is good and bad. You don't actually know how much content is in the game. You don't know how many quests there are or like how big the map is. It slowly shows you the extra maps. And then you can kind of take your time, like you can spend a lot of time at the arcade. And then as you level up, you'll automatically get like nudges on doing your quests. The Chinese text is interesting. 如果不睡觉，人的生命相当于延长了1倍提神醒脑的咖啡时。Not sleeping extends your life by 2x. But I think you would just die earlier. So it doesn't actually work. A good proxy can lose to the same bed twice in one day. Why can't I just sleep the whole day away? That should be allowed.